Good morning. It is the last day of 1992. I'm Harry Smith.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Paula Zahn. Welcome to CBS This Morning.
Making headlines this morning, President Bush is in Somalia to boost morale and inspect the relief efforts.
Plus, the husband and the victim in the Amy Fisher case, Joey and Mary Jo Buttafuoco, on the set of the CBS movie that tells their story.
And a cavalcade of CBS primetime stars Meshack Taylor, Jane Seymour, and Jay Thomas, all on CBS This Morning.
And from Los Angeles, good morning. I'm Terry Anzer. Some of the local stories we are covering right now. Preparation begins across the city for New Year's celebrations, ranging from high-end parties to low-key fundraisers. Rose Parade, float builders, and volunteers put the final touches on their creations as judges begin their work. And Rose Bowl coaches go over their X's and O's. Cheerleaders plan last-minute rallies as both Washington and Michigan prep for the granddaddy of all the bowl games. Now, back to CBS This Morning in New York. It's time to get right to the news this morning. President Bush is in Somalia this morning, beginning a two-day New Year's visit.
Giselle Fernandez is standing by now in Mogadishu with the latest on the president's visit. Giselle?
Good morning, Harry. The president arrived in Mogadishu today to thank American troops for a job well done. But it was the people of this suffering nation who turned out in force to thank him. Thousands of Somalis carrying banners and waving flags staged a welcome rally this morning on the streets of Mogadishu for the president who they say is saving their country. One demonstrator yelled, "President Bush, President of Somalia." Still, the military took no chances. Troops manned the streets and airport and took every precaution to ensure the president's safety. The president stepped off his military flight dressed in fatigues. He was greeted by top military brass and was quick to wipe away the effects of Africa's scorching heat. His first stop, the military command post at the former U.S. Embassy, bombed out and gutted in the war. It was here the commander-in-chief had his first chance to personally address U.S. troops. And with obvious pride, he praised them for a job well done.
Thank you for serving the greatest country on the face of the earth. We are very, very proud of you and very, very grateful to each and every one of you. May God bless you and may you all have a happy new year. Thank you so much.
But it was the children at a Red Cross kitchen that warmly thanked President Bush with flowers, song, and chanting, thanking him for bringing hope, Operation Restore Hope, to this war-ravaged country. The president is now aboard the USS Tripoli, where he'll spend New Year's Eve. And tomorrow he'll spend the first day of 1993, among other things, touring an orphanage in Baidoa. Harry?
Giselle Fernandez, thanks. Reporting live from Mogadishu.
Before the president left for Somalia, he attended to a problem at home, hiring a lawyer. Griffin Bell, Attorney General in the Carter administration, will represent Mr. Bush in the Iran-Contra investigation. Special Prosecutor Lawrence Walsh has declared Mr. Bush a subject of his inquiry. Walsh says he's glad the president picked a lawyer who, quote, understands the rule of law. The Cuban exile community in Miami is celebrating today over the release of 48 Cubans who flew to the U.S. in a diverted Cuban airliner Tuesday. The last of the detainees were freed from an immigration center last night. As you can see, they rushed into the arms of waiting relatives. The State Department is still checking into their request for political asylum.
In other news this morning, a suburban Chicago couple accused of abandoning their children when they went on vacation remain in jail this morning. After being arrested Tuesday at O'Hare Airport, David and Sharon Shue were arraigned yesterday and are being held on $50,000 bail apiece. It is alleged they left their young daughters home alone for 9 days, including Christmas, while they vacationed in Acapulco. In Michigan, an Amtrak train headed from Chicago to Grand Rapids derailed near the Indiana border. There were 9 injuries among the 217 people on board. A hospital spokeswoman says they were treated mainly for bumps and bruises. The cause of the accident is not yet clear, but one witness reported seeing a split rail.
You've probably seen the pictures by now. Folks in Northern California trying to dig out after one of the biggest snowstorms in years, and there is more on the way. Cindy Kennard has more.
This was just the first round of one of the strongest snowstorms to hit the area in years. Up to 8 feet of snow, drifts 12 feet deep socked the area, stranding skiers and making the holiday trip home from the mountains nearly impossible.
We're doing the best we can.
In many higher elevations, traffic stood still. For nearly 24 hours, deep snow and poor visibility shut down 2 main roads connecting Northern California and Nevada. Highways became parking lots, with many motorists jumping out of the car finding amusement to escape the boredom. When the main route out of Lake Tahoe was reopened, traffic was still limited to just 100 cars an hour. One official called it a life-threatening storm, and many in the West are digging out for the first time in days.
There's a car in there somewhere, huh?
Even the mountains south of San Francisco were dusted with fresh snow. And air travel had its problems. A Delta jet skidded off the runway in Idaho Falls after a safe landing in the snow. No injuries, but again, passengers stranded. And there were whiteout conditions near Salt Lake City, as large portions of western states felt the brunt of the weather. But for many skiers, it's a late Christmas present, lasting days, meaning more skiing, even if for some, the slope is a snow-covered street. Cindy Kennard, CBS News, Los Angeles.
What?
I can't ever remember them getting hit that hard.
Great pictures, huh?
They are. Probably not so much fun to try to get around out there right now. 6 minutes past the hour, Mark McEwen's in California, getting ready to host tomorrow's Rose Parade coverage here on CBS. He's going to have a preview for us a little bit later on this morning. But first, let's go right to the weather. Mike Collins of WBTV in Charlotte joins us in the studio this morning. Good morning again.
Good morning. Makes you cold just looking at those pictures, does it? Let's begin in California, where more snow will fall from California right on through Oregon and Washington State, with the center of a low pressure system moving into Oregon later, a little bit later on today. There'll also be some snow in northern Nevada and parts of Idaho as well. The frigid air that's plagued the northern plains is beginning to move out of the northern plains into the Midwest. So wind chills will be 20 to 30 below zero right about here today. A little moderating of temperatures here, but still very, very cold, clearing down through the Great Basin. And rain begins from the south right on up through Times Square, but temperatures will be mild in a good part of the east today, right on through tonight, as a matter of fact, and hazy sun will follow the fog that blankets a good part of the south today. Look at this, -3 up in Montana. That may sound cold to you, but that's a heat wave to these people up there, and temperatures will begin to moderate. That's the national weather this morning.
Good morning from Los Angeles. I'm Terry Anzer with the news at 7:07. It often sounds like a shooting gallery on New Year's Eve, but this year the LAPD wants to hear the sound of silence. Less than 17 hours now till we ring in the new year, and police warn people not to do it with gunfire. They say it's very dangerous and even very deadly as a year-end ritual.
The bullet that goes up does come down. It can still injure, it can still maim, and it can still kill.
Firing a gun into the air is a crime, and anyone who does it can be prosecuted. Gunfire and New Year's Eve, drinking and driving, another lethal combination law enforcement wants to prevent. The California Highway Patrol is keeping a sharp lookout for drunk drivers this holiday weekend. The CHP has set up several checkpoints throughout Los Angeles County, such as this one in Glendale. Last night at this checkpoint, they arrested at least 3 people for getting behind the wheel after they had too much to drink. And our Jim Thornton gets behind the wheel as our designated driver of weather and traffic right after this.
Spend less on furniture, and you'll be able to spend more on accessories.
The world's greatest exercise facility is right at your feet.
At Sport Chalet, we'll treat you like one of the family and treat you like a pro. Huh? It's pro, Dad. Pro.
Rollerblade, available at Sports Chalet.
Well, if you have to get out on the highways now, you're in luck because it's looking good out there. Here's Jim Thornton. Jim?
It's looking dynamite out there this morning, Terry, and of course I'll be happy to be your designated traffic driver. No problem getting there in one piece this morning. Just be careful. Nice light volume anywhere you want to go. Had reports a few minutes ago of a float traveling along the 210 near the 605 freeway. I've sent Skip Tucker, our airborne reporter, over there. He couldn't find the thing, so maybe it floated away, but either way, there was just a minor hitch in your get-along there a few minutes ago. Not anymore, though. 605 northbound, connector road to westbound 91 freeway. A couple of cars involved in a collision. That's getting cleared away. Very rainy, very snowy for northern through central California right now on through the weekend, but it'll just pass by Southern California for New Year's Day. We'll get a few clouds by tomorrow afternoon. Today, mostly sunshine. A high around 64 for the LA Civic. center, and we're on a gradual warming trend as we go through the weekend in Southern California. But watch out. A float is afloat in Vernon this morning.
Except when they disappear. Thank you, Jim. We'll be back with more at 7:25.
Segment one this morning, the troubled politics of Somalia. Even though there is no real government in place there, a number of countries recognize Omar Arte-Khalib as prime minister, despite the fact that he is forced to live in Saudi Arabia. He joins us this morning from Washington. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. I'm very happy to be here.
With the forces in Somalia right now working to restore some semblance of order, once that is accomplished, what would you like to see happen next?
Thank you very much. I think the presence of the American forces and the other allied forces, for which we have been asking for a very long time, it's not the end of the story. There is a lot to be done. I think what we ask the United Nations and our allies is that as soon as the people are disarmed, the safe delivery of humanitarian aid is ensured, and they help us in establishing a police force or a security.
With auto theft in the United States,
is to rebuild the country. It's a very rich country, and there are so many projects that have been suspended after the Civil War. So it's just a question of implementing those projects, which we have. And just imagine a whole people waking up in the morning, no one goes to a factory, no one goes to school, no one goes to do anything at all. And how can a government on earth function without budget, without electricity? Just imagine. I'm appealing to your consciences. Just imagine 24 hours in Europe or in America, if you have no electricity, no water system, how can you function?
Chaos.
This is what the problem is before us. It's not just to send troops there, but there is tremendous work waiting for our friends.
How critical is it, in your way of thinking, to disarm all of these people?
Well, first of all, when I say disarmament of the people, I am expressing the wishes of my people. They want to be disarmed. They do not want. It was just because, just remember your own history, when the Wild West was being opened, it was always the survival of the fittest that was victorious. Now, this is the situation in which we find ourselves, but our people want peace. They want to rebuild their country. And believe me, I'm not accusing you. I'm very grateful to you on behalf of my people. But the sounds of bullets reach you faster than the urgent calls for peace. And this is what we have been doing for a very long time, since the breakout of the Civil War.
I'm curious, once the order is restored to a certain extent, and assuming the forces that are in there now come out, some sort of UN peacekeeping force is installed, can you foresee a day when there might be free elections, for instance? Would that be the way, in your way of thinking, to see Somalia restored as a real nation again?
This is exactly what we have been telling the world. But unfortunately, as I have been saying just now, the sound, cries. You talk about warlords, but you have never talked about peace lords. We have been calling for this. And our mandate ends after 8 months. After these 8 months, we will stand in front of our people and ask them, where do we go from here? And we will offer them to elect their own, whomever they want to elect. This is exactly what we want to do.
I think the thing that people are curious about, though, with the anarchy that has overrun so much of your country for so long, will people there respect the power of the vote, having lived under this incredible chaos for so long?
First of all, I would like the American troops and the other troops from allied countries like Saudi Arabia, France, and Canada, and all the other countries that have offered to send troops there. We would like them to stay there as long as we need them. When we are confident, I'm not talking about my government. I mean, after 8 months, we'll end our mandate and we'll tell the people to do whatever they want to do. But we want the forces to remain as long as we need them. And then I can assure you, our people are law-abiding. There are crimes all in every country. You just remember how many crimes are reported in your papers throughout the world. I mean, what is happening in Somalia is just something normal that happens throughout the world. I can assure you, I can assure the world that as soon as the forces accomplish their honorable mission, our people will be very happy to enjoy the peace and to enjoy democracy, because this is what we are trying to implement.
Sure. Omar Arte Galib, we thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much, and I would like to take this opportunity to thank you and to wish you, and through you, the government and people of the United States of America, and I'm very happy that President Bush is there, and I would like to express our gratitude to him for taking all the trouble there, and we are waiting for President-elect Bill Clinton to do the second part of the job.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very
Do
much.
appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
15 after the hour. We'll be right back.
Sport Mart's open New Year's Day.
And it's buy one, get one free.
Sport Mart's open New Year's Day. And it's buy one, get one free.
Just look for the green stripe tags on selected athletic shoes and apparel. Buy one pair of shoes, get another pair free. Buy one item of apparel, get another apparel item free.
Buy one, get one free.
It's our buy one, get one free clearance, and that's not all. Save up to half off Sport Mart's original everyday low prices on thousands of top brand clearance items.
Sport Mart's open New Year's
Here, Dana Bedspread's January White Sale, Southern California's largest selection. Over 4,000 bedspreads and comforters in stock. Queen-size bedspreads from $29.97 and custom decorator quality king-size bedspreads $139.97. Compare elsewhere at $250 or more. How can we do it? We manufacture. Special sizes, no problem. Dana Bedspreads all over Southern California, San Bernardino, San Diego, City of Industry, and Fountain Valley. Call 1-800-854-DANA for the store nearest you.
The world's greatest exercise facility is right at your feet.
At Sports Chalet, we'll treat you like one of the family and fit you like a pro. Huh? It's pro, Dad. Pro.
Rollerblade.
Everybody, I'm Regis Philbin, and this is Judy and Steve Franzino, who together have lost 47 pounds at Jenny Craig. Did you have the same counselor?
She was very supportive. In fact, she was so individual to us that she really made the program.
You need that support system, don't you? Good luck and congratulations.
Find out how you can prevent HIV. Call 1-800-342-AIDS.
Want a good reason to own a computer? A Gallup poll found that more than half of the people who have one spend more time with their families. As we continue our special series on buying a home computer, we're going to show you some useful and fun programs for the grown-ups in the family. Joining us again is our own resident expert, Robin Raskin, the executive editor of PC Magazine. Welcome back.
Paula?
Get us started. What can adults do
So the
on
first thing you
these
want to do
computers?
is free up some time. This is a personal finance program. Hopefully you take care of your banking and you'll have time to do some other things. Every time I get on, it tells me what accounts, what checks are waiting, what bills are waiting to be paid. Here are all my incoming and outgoing expenses.
Could be pretty depressing at the end of a hard
Yeah,
day of
it's
work.
a tough one at the end of January. I can look at all my various bank accounts, loans, and get a quick summary of my information. I can then go in and pay some bills. This is something
Actually
I'm sure.
write the check on the computer.
Actually write the check and actually have it keyed into an electronic check paying service if I want. My most frequently paid bills, I just hit a key and there they are. They're already in there. And one of the fun things, I mean, just entering this stuff is one thing, but actually seeing this, how am I doing, is a great thing about electronic software. So I now want to see a graph of my expenses. And
Oh boy, here it comes.
here I go. Good news and bad news.
Oh, you
The
paid
bad
a lot of
news is I have some
taxes
taxes
last
to
year.
pay.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, let's move on to the next station here. You can actually generate graphics on this computer.
That's right. This
That's
is
fun.
sort of like having an artist in a box who comes and lives home with you, which can save tremendous amounts of money for things like greeting cards, calendars, banners. That's the sort of thing that you do. So say we want to do a New Year's invitation. We click on a greeting card. We tell it where we want it folded. Everything's
Side
all
fold, okay.
visual. We pick a nice little background, nice New Year's type of background, and we say, okay. And we get some layout information. How do we want this thing to appear on a layout? And it's going to tell us, okay, you can put text in here, a graphic in here. Tells us exactly where to put everything. We proceed on, and
With a
eventually,
printer, and this is what you end up with.
that looks like this, all ready to go with our information inside.
Looks
guided
great.
every step of the way.
Looks a lot nicer than some of the ones you can get at stationery stores.
Yeah, the
You
price
know
is
that.
right.
Now, you can also pick out restaurants and hotels if you have a certain guidebook and the right program to do
Right.
this.
You're familiar with the Zaggett's Guide.
Absolutely.
Right. Basically, this is the Zaggett's Guide on a disc, and it gives you restaurant and hotel information in various cities based on the Zaggett's references. So say we want to find a restaurant to eat in tonight, and say we want, in places in our
Sure.
area. Say
Not
that,
too many in our area, are there?
Not
this
too
week?
many. And say that decor is more important to us than food. Well, I could go in and put a rating in there, and the
That'll
things
flip
would
it around
change.
it accordingly.
Eventually, I pick my restaurant, I click on map, and I see my location appear on the screen and can actually map out a route there.
You can actually give the taxi driver the fastest directions to where you're
and
going.
in this city, that helps.
Now, for those of us who need a lot of help organizing, you can actually use this as your own little handheld thing.
This is something that should be familiar to everybody. You get a calendar, but the calendar can be viewed by day or by month or by week. You get a nice little to-do list with priorities assigned.
Ooh, you crossed one out there. You got something done on
Got
the 21st.
one thing done. Unfortunately, anything that doesn't get done appears tomorrow. Get an address book that's searchable electronically by last name, by first name. Can even dial out. If I have a modem, I can call this number on my phone. And finally, I get this activity planner where I can see at a glance what my schedule looks like. And you can see.
Oh, the orange looks pretty good there.
Right, that's
Heading
what they
for
call
vacation.
vacation.
All right, so after you've mapped out your whole life for 1993, you need a little relaxation, a little bit of an escape. What kind of games are available
Right.
for adults?
Many people have seen the action games available, the flight simulators and the arcade games. One of our favorites is a game that actually is a more zen-like approach to game playing. This is a million different mind games. I'll show you the easiest one because I'm afraid to do any of the others.
This is called Heaven and Earth.
Heaven and Earth. And as I master various illusions, I start entering the road to Shambhala. I'm putting together pieces of a larger puzzle.
And positive reinforcement as you
Positive
head on down
reinforcement.
that road.
Lots of fun. Lots
Robin,
of fun.
thanks so much. Nice to see you again. We'll see you again tomorrow.
Right.
As we continue our series, we'll show you modems, soundboards, and other high-tech add-ons for your home computer. The bells and whistles of all this. Stay tuned. Harry?
Can't wait. 23 minutes before the hour. In our next hour, Mary Jo and Joey Buttafuoco and the CBS movie that tells the inside story of the Long Island Lolita case from their perspective.
If you'd like a videotape copy of this week's series, How to Buy a Computer, call 1-800-242-7747. The cost is $23.45.
When Jeffrey catches a cold, we see the pediatrician.
I love my pediatrician. He's my dad.
He recommends Dimetap Elixir.
Doctors have recommended the Dimetap brand over 200 million times. It relieves sneezing, nasal congestion, runny noses.
And Jeffrey really likes the great taste.
Doctors recommend Dimetap for their families and yours. Now get the great taste of Dimetap Elixir in new Dimetap chewable tablets.
In Somalia, some 5,000 people are starving every day. 1.5 million more will die within weeks unless help comes. World Vision workers are in Somalia right now. Feeding centers are opening. Some 500 will be needed to save lives. Your gift of $25, $50, $100, even $500 for food and emergency medical care is urgently needed. You may use your Visa or MasterCard. Call World Vision at 1-800-423-4200.
This is it. Robinson's last ever Beverly Hilton Hotel for sale. This Friday and Saturday only from 10 to 6, the Beverly Hilton Hotel will be filled with over $10 million worth of stunning furs. Take an extra 50% off the lowest ticketed price of every fur in this huge collection. Every fur must be sold. Robinson's last ever Beverly Hilton Hotel fur sale. This Friday and Saturday only, 10 to 6.
It's the clear, sparkling water that makes Freeman shampoos and conditioners among the finest, most natural available. Sea kelp moisturizing proteins, and the conditioning you get from herbs, flowers, and our other natural ingredients make Freeman hair treatments very special. I'm Larry Freeman, and that's a promise from our family to yours.
Freeman Papaya Shampoo and Papaya Treatment available at Lucky's.
This is the 725 Channel 2 Action News Morning Report.
And good morning, I'm Terry Anzer with the last 725 report of 1992, beginning with weather and traffic with Jim Thornton. Jim?
Yeah, plenty of camping sites available still in Pasadena, I reckon, but boy, it's cold out there right now. Pasadena, the freeways are doing pretty well, too. The 210, no major delays whatsoever. Surface streets, keep in mind, a number of those will be closed, of course, obviously, for the parade route, and some already are. On the freeway, the westbound Ventura Freeway, the right lane closed from just before Orange Grove to San Rafael. That'll start at 3 o'clock tonight, or this afternoon, I should say, and go through 6 o'clock tomorrow evening. The 14, very windy between Ward Road and the Kern County line, so be careful. It's not recommended for high-profile vehicles right now. We have a lot of rain, a lot of snow for Northern California, but as you can see, high pressure will keep those clouds away from us in Southern California. Mostly clear today, a high around 64, and slightly warmer as we go on through the weekend, with partly cloudy skies by New Year's afternoon, but no chance of rain in the forecast for New Year's Day, which is great news there for the roses. Could melt the glue.
That's for sure. Thanks, Jim. And we'll take a look at some of the white stuff up north and in the local mountains when Action News AM continues.
Nobody throws a year-end savings party like Don Cott. Get the deal of the decade on 93 T-Birds and Tauruses. Your choice just $199 a month for 24 months with no down payment. Need something that'll go anywhere? Take your pick of the 4-door, 4-wheel drive Isuzu Rodeos for just $12,795. Hurry, these offers good through New Year's Eve only. 93 T-Birds and Tauruses, just $199 a month with no down payment. Take the San Diego Freeway to Avalon Boulevard to Don Cott, California. It's Bargain City, USA.
This Sunday, collectors are returns for our first sale of 1993 to sell out over 3,000 beautiful oil paintings at $39 or less. $39! Incredible! In addition, hundreds of our gallery oils like you see here at unbelievably low prices. This Sunday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. In Anaheim at the Anaheim Convention Center. In Torrance at the Torrance Holiday Inn. In Long Beach at the Long Beach Airport Marriott. In Industry at the Industry Hills Sheraton. In Pasadena at the Pasadena Hilton. In San Bernardino at the San Bernardino Hilton. In Ontario at the Ontario Hilton. And in Woodland Hills at the Warner Center Marriott.
It's here, Dana Bedspread's January white sale. Southern California's largest selection. Over 4,000 bedspreads and comforters in stock. Queen-size bedspreads from $29.97 and custom decorator quality king-size bedspreads $139.97. Compare elsewhere at $250 or more. How can we do it? We manufacture. Special sizes, no problem. Dana Bedspreads all over Southern California, San Bernardino, San Diego, City of Industry, and Fountain Valley. Call 1-800-854-DANA for the store nearest you.
While we await the first band, float, and equestrian unit to march down Colorado Boulevard tomorrow under traditionally clear blue skies, Northern California and the local mountains are looking at threatening black clouds. The winter storms dropped as much as 8 feet of snow in parts of Northern California, but residents got a bit of a break yesterday. More snow is expected to come last night. Meanwhile, in the San Bernardino Mountains, people were busy digging out of the snow. 5 inches fell on Running Springs. The storm didn't let up until this morning. The ski resorts will have plenty of snow for one of their busiest weekends of the year. But more news out of the mountains in Northern California. One man is dead after he was buried by an avalanche. Tons of snow came crashing down south of Mammoth Lakes. The victim was found covered by 2 feet of snow, and he was pronounced dead on arrival at a nearby hospital. But rescuers were able to save an 11-year-old boy who was also trapped in that avalanche. He was treated for back pain and then sent home. Now, what a way to end the new year. One lotto ticket in Santa Rosa has all the right numbers. We'll see you later.
Sport Mart's open New Year's Day.
And it's buy one, get one free.
Sport Mart's open New Year's Day. And it's buy one, get one free.
Just look for the green stripe tags on selected athletic shoes and apparel. Buy one pair of shoes, get another pair free. Buy one item of apparel, get another apparel item free.
Buy one, get one free.
It's our buy one, get one free clearance. And that's not all. Save up to half off Sport Mart's original everyday low prices on thousands of top brand clearance items.
Sport Mart's open New Year's Day.
The buy one, get one free clearance.
New Year's Day at Sport Mart.
Aaron Brothers Art Mart's 1-cent frame sale is on now. Choose from the West's largest selection and save on thousands of frames, all kinds of frames, even custom frames, photo frames, acrylic frames, gold leaf, silver, ceramic, and more. All shapes, all sizes. Buy any frame and get a second frame at the same price or less for just a penny. It's like getting 2 frames for the price of 1. How's that for a cent well spent? The 1-cent frame sale on now at all 70 Aaron Brothers locations.
Bill Cosby's You Bet Your Life, tonight at 7 on Channel 2.
Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I've got a beautiful feeling. Everything's going my way. Papa, everything's going my way. Papa, everything's going my way.
Papa.
From the Tropicana Hotel in Las Vegas, the showgirls of the Folies Bergère singing our theme. Welcome back to CBS This Morning. I'm Harry Smith.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Paula Zahn. We made it to the end of the year.
Yes, and
Boy,
we
this year
ended
has
with a
gone-
kind of a first there, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
We're ending another year in the age of many, many things, especially for many people thinking about the year of age. Just ahead, Dr. Bob Arnott looks back at the progress and the setbacks in the fight against a killer.
And when Meshach Taylor's family sits around the house, they really sit around the house. Coming up, we're going to meet the star of Designing Women, his wife, his kids, even his parents.
Time now for this morning's headlines. President Bush is receiving a warm welcome on his 2-day visit to Somalia. First stop was the U.S. Embassy compound, where Mr. Bush told waiting troops they were doing an A1 job. Later, he was greeted by young Somali children as he visited an aid center. The Cuban refugees who landed in Miami on Tuesday aboard a diverted airline flight have been released to relatives. Their requests for asylum are still being studied. And one of America's favorite immigrants has died. Ling Ling, the female panda given to the U.S. by China, died at the National Zoo yesterday. Ling Ling was 23, a ripe old age for a panda. Just about 28 minutes until the hour. With Mark off this week, Mike Collins is here with us in New York from WBTV in Charlotte, and he's got our weather. Good morning again.
Good morning. This weather segment is sponsored by Nonstick Freedent Gum. Nonstick Freedent moistens your mouth and freshens your breath. Well, if you're traveling today, some delays out there because of various forms of weather. Up in Vermont and New Hampshire, they have some freezing rain falling, so that may cause you some problems getting into and out of the airport. From New York City to Charlotte to Atlanta today, some fog sucking in those airports. And if you're flying into or out of Des Moines, Iowa, they're having some gusty winds. That probably won't delay you, but kind of bumpy in and out of those airports. Freezing rain falling in Tulsa right now. And up in Salem, Oregon, down to Eugene, California, they're having a mixture of rain and snow. So it's kind of messy. And they're really going to get some snow as we go into the day today from California all up into Oregon and back to Idaho. That's a look at the forecast. Harry, Paula?
Thank you, Mike. 1992 was the year when one nation after another split and then split again. There may be a trend here, says our Robert Krulwich. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning to you both. Since 1989, we've seen the birth of 23 countries, Somalia, Namibia, Eritrea, Micronesia, all the Soviet republics, which we're only just beginning to get familiar with. In fact, on this New Year's Eve, I think that they should introduce themselves.
Let me introduce myself. I'm new. Hi, I'm a girl from Croatia.
Hi, I've never been to Croatia.
Hello, nice to meet ya.
Hey, I'm new too.
You're new.
Hi, I'm Alek from Latvia.
I'm a Kazakh, really. Yes.
For years we all were commies, but then like a tsunami, the winds of change released us, and we're new.
Nice hat. Thank you.
Oh, so let us introduce ourselves. We're new.
A lot of countries. But now here's the rub here. The forces that pulled the USSR apart and created so many new nations, those same forces are now threatening to tear apart the new countries and lots of the stable older countries too. After all, there are really 2 ways you can build a nation. One is the way we have here in America, where we build the country on common values: liberty, equality, pursuit of happiness, maybe watching the Brady Bunch together. It's what we share together that makes us Americans. The other idea is tribal. The people who talk the same, pray the same, look the same. The tribe is the nation. If you're not in the tribe, get out. If you look around, tribes are popping up all over. People who've lived side by side for years are now saying they want a divorce, they want their own nation, and as you'll see, it's happening everywhere.
The time has come to get away from you. I'm a Slovak. What are you?
I'm a Czech. Can't you tell?
You look Czechy. You should know. I wish that we were through, completely through, over with, done. I hate you.
For years I've tried to stay.
Don't leave Quebec.
I've got to break away.
Catalonia.
I know
Spain.
it's time to get away from you.
I'm from Kashmir. I would like my own country, please.
I'm from Scotland. Scotland for the Scots. I hate the Queen. Do you hate her too?
I'm not very fond of her.
We didn't mention, of course, the Siberians, the Tartars, the Basques, the people of Northern California. This could be a very profound trend. Now, I have here, Harry and I, a map done by Doug Copeland, printed in the New York Times, which shows what would happen to our country 100 years from now if the tribalists took over. You'll notice that the United States is now smaller but larger up here. These are Canadians who really don't like French people, so they joined us.
Just joined us, right. And this sort of pinkish something, who does that, what tribe does that represent?
These are kind of middle-class, sort of ordinary people. These are Southern people. Citicorp has taken over Cuba, so and this is, these are just cowboys and oil people. These are people who live in mountains.
Pretty
right?
big.
All this whole thing. This is a theocracy called Utah. California's been divided in half. It's got the ooh part, the Shasta Republic, and these are people who are more Latin, the República de California del Sur, and then this is so you see these are just different affinities, different nation states entirely.
My favorite city of all is the Disney National Memory Storage Facility.
So what I want to know is, what does this mean? Are we going to see more and more countries?
Not necessarily, because if the polar ice cap melts, then a number of countries, here they are Tuvalu, Marshall Islands, the Seychelles, could, well, let me show you what could happen to them.
I can't believe I'm sinking, but it's true. The land I'm on is shrinking, so I'm blue. The sea just keeps on surging as I go on submerging. I can't believe I'm sinking, but it's true.
So there's not quite as many nations, perhaps, as one would imagine.
No.
The best vocal track of 1992, Robert
You
Cohen.
did succeed in rhyming tsunami. I'm impressed.
With Kami. You noticed.
22 minutes before the hour. Up next, from Magic Johnson to the homeless, Dr. Bob Arnott shows us how AIDS touched America in 1992.
We'll be back.
The Carlsons have always loved Freedent. They love how it won't stick to their dental work. But since they've discovered our new Winter Fresh flavor, things have cooled off considerably. That is, at least as far as their breath is concerned. Because after all, when your mouth feels cooler, your breath feels fresher. So try new Winter Fresh Freedent, a cooler flavor for fresher breath.
So, today's the day you buy that new car. Chances are you've checked out its quality, its durability, and its safety features. But if for any reason you'd like to check out ours, feel free. It's your money.
You know, California prunes aren't just great snacks. They're good with breakfast, lunch, dinner, dessert. Why, the possibilities are endless.
Sweet, delicious California prunes. Find out how good they really are. There is one gentle antibacterial soap doctors recommend more than any other. Aren't you glad you use Dial?
Oh, great. Just what my stomach needs. Here comes my obnoxious boss.
Hi, Daddy.
Oh, boy.
better make it Malox. Because for moments like this, nothing Mylanta makes neutralizes as much stomach acid as extra strength Malox Plus. So why take anything else?
We were just talking about you.
Oh, nice, I hope.
My mother's here, too.
Great. Nobody knows your stomach better, so you better make it Malox.
This morning's health segment is sponsored by Red Lobster, for the seafood lover in you.
20 minutes before the hour, as we continue our review of 1992's top health stories, another year of the AIDS crisis has passed without a cure, without a universal treatment, but with some small hope, as Dr. Bob Arnott reports.
Coming back to the Lakers, and I'm playing again.
It was a year of mixed messages about AIDS. After retiring from basketball in 1991, Magic Johnson returned to the sport this year as only he could. With less pomp and circumstance, he retired once again a month later due to the other players' misconception that they were at risk.
Well, I think that what we saw with the Magic Johnson situation was a clear-cut example of how that confusion still exists.
Still more confusing is the tragic double standard that emerged this year. We showed compassion for AIDS patients we admired, but many of us showed little more than fear and disdain for those invisible thousands who live and die of this disease away from the headlines every day. This was not the year that AIDS first ravaged Asia, but it is the year in which we learned that it will attack that continent perhaps worse than it did Africa. Here at home, AIDS claimed the lives of at least 12,000 people in the first half of the year alone, including children and thousands of women. 40,000 people are estimated to have become infected with the virus this year alone, and most have no idea that they too have become statistics.
I'm hoping that 1993 will be a year where there will be significant improvements in the general understanding of the public about how to avoid infection.
In medicine and science, we made small but significant steps forward in 1992 with the approval of new drugs to treat and prevent infections that kill AIDS patients. We also have new drugs to fight the virus itself, drugs that can be used in combination, thanks to some improvement in the FDA's approval process.
We have a raging epidemic, and you'd like things to move more quickly. In that respect, I have frustration, but not disappointment, because I wasn't expecting it necessarily to be any better than it is.
Vaccine research took a step forward with the announcement that a monkey vaccine held promise. Sadly, this year's International AIDS Conference in Amsterdam was overshadowed by hysteria about an alleged new mystery AIDS-like virus. Most scientists now say that nothing of the sort exists. AIDS continues to capture our greatest fears. Will I get it from my dentist? Rather than our sympathy. And so again, in the year 1993, the slow march of scientific progress continues with little media interest. Dr. Bob Arnott, CBS This Morning.
Tomorrow, the health care crisis. Will things improve in 93? Bob will have some answers. Paula?
Thanks, Harry. 17 minutes before the hour. Just ahead on CBS This Morning, we'll be spending some time at the brand new home of designing women's Meshack Taylor, and we'll meet his family, too.
Now at Red Lobster, our classic event, Lobster Fest. Classic feasts with grilled lobster, rock lobster, and more. Lobster Fest, now at Red Lobster.
When you see my picture in your mail, you know you can be next month's $10 million winner at American Family. $10 million rich next month. I'll award the $10 million prize just weeks from now. So be sure to enter fast.
Are we okay? Oh, not really, no. I'm all stuffed up. I'm all stuffed up. Well, I got a sore throat and a cough. Well, me too. Well, stop complaining. I'm not complaining. Somebody is complaining. Then we'll take something. Not that cough syrup makes me gag.
When you're all blocked up, Ludens helps. Fast-acting cough suppressants with menthol vapor relief.
I can breathe.
For serious vapor relief, Ludens helps. Really help.
Ooh, it took a cold morning like this one for me to discover a really great hot cereal for my family. And who would have expected? It's grape nuts. I just pour grape nuts, add milk, and microwave for a minute. It's got a warm, smooth, hearty taste that's so delicious we all love it. And grape nuts is fat-free. It's the perfect way to help keep us all going on a cold winter's morning. Hot, delicious grape nuts. Try it for yourself.
Hot or cold, breakfast with post-grape nut cereal helps keep you going strong all morning long.
Chaplin, nominated for 3 Golden Globe Awards, including Best Actor.
The whole world knows about you, Charlie.
One of the best movies of the year. A stunning achievement.
You are a truly strange fellow, Charles.
Robert Downey Jr. is astonishing, says Joel Siegel.
Waiting for that other shot, Sid.
Richard Attenborough has created a masterpiece.
What do we do, Charlie?
Smile. Robert Downey Jr.
Charlie!
Chaplin, rated PG-13. Starts Friday, January 8th at a theater near you.
Action News AM continues with Terry Anzer, Bill Keane, and from New York, CBS This Morning. Now, Action News AM.
And good morning, everyone. I'm Terry Anzer in Los Angeles. Here's what's making news at 7:45. How about a little weather and traffic from Jim Thornton? Jim?
Sounds good to me. The San Bernardino Freeway eastbound just past the Long Beach Freeway. I'm getting reports of a stalled car in the carpool lane. Somebody changing a tire. Watch out for it because the volume is way light and the speeds are up there on the eastbound 10. Watch out. Orange County freeways this morning looking very well in sharp contrast to what is normal for this time of day. Westbound 91 looks good. The 5 north and southbound. Even the Garden Grove and the 55 doing well right now. Our clouds and precipitation continue. A lot of snowfall again on the way for this weekend in northern California, even near Lake Shasta. They've had to shut down the 5 between Wairika and Redding because of blowing snow. Southern California, mostly sunny. A high today near 64 on a gradual warming trend over the weekend. Partly cloudy skies is about all the clouds we'll have on New Year's Day tomorrow, and that's only in the afternoon, so you got to enjoy that. Terry?
It's going to be a great one. Thank you, Jim. But there is a weed growing in Pasadena's Rose Garden. We'll tell you why some are concerned about the big parade and the bowl game when Action News AM continues.
You know, Vern, timing is very important. And that's why you should buy your car at Cerritos Auto Square during the last 10 days of the month. They're way overstocked. All 15 dealers are under pressure. They've got to lower their prices. Meet their quotas. They're just a bunch of wimps. Now's the time to strike at the soft underbelly of Cerritos Auto Square. What about the salesman? Don't worry about the salesman. Any one of us can whip a salesman during the last 10 days at Cerritos Auto Square.
21 dealers strong. 605 Freeway at South Street.
Oh, sure, we look dapper now. But what do we wear the rest of the year?
Find great styles at Mervyn's New Year's sale and clearance. Save 30 to 60% throughout the store. Save 40% on men's warm-up pants and jackets, on fashion sweats for women, and on fleece sets for kids. Save 40% on men's Cambridge Classics twill shirts, and save 40 to 50% on women's robes. You'll even save 60% on Mrs. Holiday Dockers. Shop Mervyn's New Year's sale and clearance today.
Where are you fellas going in such a hurry?
Fillin' Jims, Fillin' Jims, Fillin' Jims. Oh, it's clearance time. The best buys on the best brands, only at Fillin' Jims. Like this GE large capacity washer with 2 wash and rinse temperature combinations, priced to move at only $276.40. Or this GE large capacity electric dryer, only $226.40, and free 90-day credit.
Now what's the rush, boys?
Fillin' Jims, Fillin' Jims, Fillin' Jims. Pasadena is busy this morning with final preparations for tomorrow's Rose Parade and bowl game, but there's a thorn in the side of one of LA's oldest traditions, the economy.
1, 2, 3, 4. I'm hitting it hard.
TV crews are busy getting ready to transmit California sunshine around the world during Friday's Tournament of Roses parade. But the local bottom line is not as rosy as the floats. Pasadena's budget crunch has forced cuts in city services. Yet another sign of hard times in Southern California. And the economy may also be taking a toll on ticket sales for the Rose Bowl game. There are more than 100,000 seats, and for the first time in many years, officials are worried they won't be able to fill them all.
We're here having the Southern California beautiful weather, and we need a Southern California team in here. Or even Northern California would be all right.
California fans are underwhelmed by yet another Washington-Michigan matchup. Few takers for this pile of end zone seats at $46 each. And the folks who sell parade grandstand seats have also noticed the recession.
Tours were down a little bit this year. Instead of bringing 3 busloads of people, maybe they brought 2 busloads of people.
Grandstand seats are $40 this year, and these frat brothers can't afford to buy.
The key word here is buy. We got a lot of people out here who don't have a lot of money. And we figure we can get a spot here for free, so why not take advantage of it, you know?
Parade route camping is restricted until noon today. Still, hundreds of people are already out there staking out the very best seats, the ones that are absolutely free. Now, another California tradition, whale watching, gets some good news this morning. For years, the phrase "save the whales" was a rallying cry for the entire environmental movement. Well, it worked. Federal officials say the once endangered California gray whale can now be removed from the endangered species list. That's a first for a marine mammal. The recovery is credited in large part to the Mexican government and its effort to protect the winter mating grounds off the coast of Baja. There's a reason to celebrate New Year. And we'll be back in just a few minutes with the weather.
Penn and Teller show you how to play with your food tomorrow on CBS This Morning.
As Anthony Bouvier on Designing Women, Meshack Taylor really gets run ragged. Well, in real life, he's just as busy. He's the father of 4 children, and he's just moved in and remodeled this Egyptian-style home in Altadena, California. And that's where we find Meshack, his wife Bianca, their children Yasmin and Esme, and Meshack's parents. Good morning. Happy New Year to you all.
Good morning, Paula. Happy holiday to you, too.
Thank you. So, Meshack, how do you plan to spend the holiday together?
Well, my parents are from Indiana, so they're out here for the holidays, and we'll probably spend a kind of a quiet evening at home for New Year's. Or maybe not. We may get out.
The Rose Bowl parade.
Yeah, we're going to definitely do the Rose Bowl parade because we're here in Pasadena. We live in this area. So we'll do that and generally just have a quiet time of it, I think.
Bianca, any special New Year's wishes this year?
Oh, the children and I are wishing that the children in Somalia, right, will get the food that they need and our troops will come home.
Esme, is there
right?
anything else that you're wishing for? Yasmin or Esme, anything else?
Anything else, Yasmin?
Spend more time?
Me?
You want to spend more time with Mommy and Daddy?
Yes.
That's a great wish. I think there are a lot of kids around the country that are probably making that same wish this year. Boy, Meshack, you've asked a lot of yourself to sort of start off the new year with this enormous project that you've had underway in this home. If you would, give us an idea of what you've done to pull this all together.
Oh, I tell you, this house was built in 1924, and we've added within the last year, 2 years actually, it took us to work to get everything done on this house. We've added 1,500 square feet to it, and it's a pretty big undertaking, as you know. But let me just show you a couple of the things around here. These are a couple of pieces that I got for the house. This piece right here I got in New Orleans on Royal Street or Royale Street. Now, when I was a kid, the places that sold all the beautiful antiques like this, you could look in through the window, but you couldn't really go inside and buy anything. And when I went back to do this one, to get this, I had been on Design Women for about 3 years, and everybody knew I was from New Orleans, and everyone knew that I had been representing, hopefully representing the city quite well. So I was treated like a king when I went to Royale Street this time, and this means a lot to me because a lot has changed.
The piece is beautiful. I hope they give you a little break on the price.
Well, actually, they didn't give me a break on the price, but we haven't come that far yet. But it's made out of ebony, and it was made in the early 1800s. It's one of my prized pieces. And I also have been collecting a lot of art for the last few years, and this is one of my favorite pieces by Romare Bearden, an African-American artist who died a couple of years ago, who's probably one of the better-known African-American artists. And Bianca picked this one, actually. What's the name of this, darling?
Samson and Delilah.
Samson and Delilah.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And yeah, it's one of my favorite pieces, too. And here in Altadena, there have been several very famous African-American artists who have lived in this area. And one of the foremost ones is a gentleman who also passed a couple of years ago, but his name is Charles White. And this is an ink drawing that Charles did. And, you know, so it takes a while to get the house together, but we've got some pieces that we've collected through the years, the 10 years that Bianca and I have been together, and hopefully we'll be able to get it looking righteous in a couple of years or so.
Oh, it's looking pretty good now. The nicest thing is that you as a family are still communicating and talking to each other after a renovation. Most of us are pretty angry with each other once we've gone through this process.
It's incredible, but the thing is, and this is the advice that I have to anybody who's remodeling a home, don't move in until it's already done.
No.
Because if you're in that house when they're remodeling and you start to discuss things about how things, you invariably are going to have some difficulty. And I have a couple of people who have built beautiful homes for their wives and gotten divorced just as soon as the house was finished.
Whoa.
So
But we won't do that.
I knew not to move in until we were done. So we're fine on that.
Before we let you all get away, I wanted to ask your mom and dad a question, Joseph and Hertha. I know that Meshach was interested in acting from a very early age on. Did you know he was talented when he was a kid?
Oh, yes, always.
He began talking in about 11 months and hasn't stopped since.
Meshach and the rest of your family, a very happy and healthy 1993.
Thank you, Father. Same to you.
Thanks for letting us visit you this morning. We'll be back.
This portion of CBS This Morning was sponsored by Per Diem, the laxative that works naturally, not chemically.
All God's creatures get constipated. It's only natural. And most of them solve it naturally, without chemicals. Now humans can too, with Per Diem, a 100% natural laxative that works just as fast as all the chemical ones. It's as natural as, well, being constipated.
It's the clear, sparkling water that makes Freeman shampoos and conditioners among the finest, most natural available. Sea kelp moisturizing proteins and the conditioning you get from herbs, flowers, and our other natural ingredients make Freeman hair treatments very special. I'm Larry Freeman, and that's a promise from our family to yours. Freeman Papaya Hair Treatments with vitamins and proteins for beautiful hair.
Introducing the 32-valve, 280 horsepower Lincoln Mark 8, and the most powerful argument we can make on its behalf. Drive everything else first. The new Lincoln Mark 8. What a luxury car should be.
Eggnog, mashed potatoes and gravy, Santa cookies, Aunt Wilma's bundt cake.
The average American
turkey,
can gain 4 to 7 pounds during the holidays,
candy canes,
and you're probably one of them.
sweet potatoes,
So include the Kellogg's Special K breakfast in your New Year's diet
balls, dip,
and get the scale moving in the right direction.
fruitcake, fruitcake, fruitcake.
Kellogg's Special K. Lose the holiday fat.
On CBS This Morning, here's a look at your weather.
I'm Terry Anzer with a look at the Southern California forecast. Another storm front is about to move into Northern California, but here in the Southland, we will have picture-perfect conditions for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Sunshine with comfortable highs in the low 60s around much of the area, and 42 in the mountains, 50s and 60s in the deserts. 5-day forecast shows a warming trend as we head for the weekend with a few clouds, but nothing serious to worry about. Have a great New Year.
Still to come this morning, Mary Jo and Joey Buttafuoco. She is the woman shot by Amy Fisher.
Their story gets told in Sunday's CBS movie, and we were with them on the set. All of that still to come.
Stay with us.
Bet you didn't know that many drunk drivers never show up for their trials. Now these deputies are on the lookout when you least expect it. When's that? Find out tonight on the CBS Evening News.
A black widow has come to Rome. She mates, then they die.
Suzanne and I are going to be married.
Will Jill's dad be her next victim?
Maybe your father and I will give you the sister you never had.
She was with another 70-year-old before the last one. What happened to him?
Dead.
We have no proof of anything.
Find out what's behind picket fences Friday.
One of the deans of the sport coaches his last game. Grant Taft pounded Baylor against Arizona. The John Hancock Bowl, New Year's Eve day on CBS.
This is CBS.
Cotton Classic Twin Sheets, $6.99. Egyptian cotton bath towels, $8.99. Queen and King sheets, $10.99. Where can you find these exceptional values? Only at Stroud's. Save 35 to 70% now during the biggest clearance sale of the year. The best time to buy bedding is now, when you can get this overfilled white goose down comforter for only $79.99 twin, this 205 thread cotton comforter cover for only $19.99 twin, and white goose feather and down pillows in any size for only $9.99 now at Stroud's.
This is it. Robinson's last ever Beverly Hilton Hotel for sale. This Friday and Saturday only from 10 to 6. The Beverly Hilton Hotel will be filled with over $10 million worth of stunning furs. Take an extra 50% off the lowest ticketed price of every fur in this huge collection. Every fur must be sold. Robinson's last ever Beverly Hilton Hotel fur sale. This Friday and Saturday only, 10 to 6.
The all-new Family Feud, tonight at 7:30 on Channel 2.
Good morning. Welcome back to CBS This Morning. I'm Paula Zahn.
And I'm Harry Smith. Good morning, everybody.
Just ahead, we'll have complete coverage from Mogadishu as President Bush tours Somalia on his final foreign trip.
Plus, a bunch of stuff you have never seen but just cannot live without. Believe it, the hot products and trends for 93.
And Mary Jo and Joey Buddy Fuqua at the filming of Casualty of Love, their side of the Amy Fisher story, all in this hour of CBS This Morning. And from Los Angeles, good morning. I'm Terry Anzer. Here are some of the local stories we are covering today. Preparation begins across the city for New Year's celebration, ranging from high-end parties to low-key fundraisers. Rose Parade float builders and volunteers put the final touches on their creations as the judges begin their work. And Rose Bowl coaches go over their X's and O's. The cheerleaders plan last-minute rallies as both Washington and Michigan prep for the granddaddy of all the bowl games. Now back to CBS This Morning in New York.
Now for the latest news this morning, American troops are welcoming President Bush to Somalia today.
The president is on a two-day New Year's visit, meeting with troops and aid workers. Giselle Fernandez is standing by now in Mogadishu with the latest on the president's trip. Good morning, Giselle.
Good morning, Paula. This is the president's 25th and probably final mission abroad as commander-in-chief. And it's clear that his visit here to this suffering nation is more a mission of pride. The president was warmly received by Somali children chanting "Welcome President Bush" as he toured a feeding center here, one of the many kitchens. He was given bouquets of flowers as he talked with relief workers about the many grave problems here. He shook hands as the children shouted and chanted, "Welcome, welcome." He spoke with the relief workers about the grave problems and what more can be done to help. No American president has come to a place like Somalia before, a country racked by anarchy and famine, until Mr. Bush sent in the troops. Minutes later, the president was acknowledging this unique humanitarian effort when he talked to soldiers inside what had been the American embassy, until it was destroyed.
Desert Storm showed our country once again that we have the finest fighting forces in the entire world. And now, we're seeing in a very different mission that same kind of expertise, that same kind of dedication.
Mr. Bush then thanked the soldiers and wished them a Happy New Year. But it was the Somalis who thanked him. There was a rally of thousands who waved banners with a message to the president. Our home is your home. The president has ended his tour now for the day here in Mogadishu. He is now aboard the USS Tripoli, where he'll spend New Year's Eve. Another full day tomorrow. He plans to visit, among other things, an orphanage in Baidoa. Back to you.
Thank you, Giselle. Giselle Fernandez reporting from Mogadishu this morning.
A draft report by Joint Chiefs Chairman General Colin Powell suggests a potential policy dispute with President-elect Clinton. The report being circulated at the Pentagon recommends consolidating the command structure of U.S. forces assigned to regional crises like Somalia, but it rejects the kind of sweeping military realignment endorsed by Mr. Clinton during the campaign. It's reported this morning that the UN wants the United States and other countries in the Western Hemisphere to grant temporary asylum to Haitian boat people. The New York Times quotes an internal UN memorandum. It says UN officials will ask President-elect Clinton to make good on a campaign promise to end the forced repatriation of the Haitian refugees.
Miami's Cuban exile community is rejoicing this morning following last night's release of the last of the 48 Cuban refugees who arrived aboard a diverted flight on Tuesday. Dave Game of WCIX TV in Miami has our report.
The long hours, for some more than a day of waiting outside Chrome's gates, ended just before 10 p.m. when immigration officials released the first group of adults from the detoured airliner. The result was gleeful pandemonium. That they would be released into the United States was a virtual certainty, but immigration officials took more than 36 hours to make it happen. And among the newly reunited, the relief was almost physical.
I feel so happy, I feel so grateful, and I give thanks to God and everybody's in here, the news, everybody, because everybody's helped me a lot. But now I want to go home so can my mother see her, because my mother has got a heart problem and she's waiting for her.
This is your...
My niece.
This is your niece? Can you ask her how she feels now?
¿Cómo te sientes ahora, mami? Muy bien, muy bien. She feels so good. She feels so great.
There will be a lot of stories exchanged tonight as family groups split up. This man couldn't wait to tell his part of the trip. We were a little bit scared, he said, but we're awfully glad to be here. Here to ring in the new year with the unexpected gift of freedom. As they were leaving the detention camp, the plane which brought them to the United States was taking off from Miami International Airport, piloted by a new Cuban crew who defiantly dropped a Cuban flag out the window before taking off from the airport. As the people it brought here were headed for freedom, the plane was headed back to communism. Dave Game for CBS News, Miami.
If any one event can be said to signal the official start of the new year, it is the annual lowering of the ball in New York's Times Square. Naturally, timing is everything, so yesterday crews held a dress rehearsal. The huge lighted ball was raised to the top of its tower, then lowered in precisely 10 seconds, just as it will be when 93 arrives at midnight tonight, at least.
The question is, did you think anybody would notice tonight if it took 13 seconds to lower that? I don't think so.
I doubt it.
I think people are going to be pretty cheerful out there.
6 after the hour, Mark is getting ready for the big Tournament of Roses parade. Mike Collins of WBTV and Charlotte is here with the weather. We got to hurry, hurry, hurry here.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll synchronize my digital clocks to the ball in Times Square. Could be raining tonight in Times Square, but mild. But right now, some rain falling. It's a kind of freezing rain and drizzle in parts of New Hampshire and Vermont. Falling right on down to the south along the Appalachians tonight. Hazy sunshine today, rather burning off after fog, and then very cold in the upper Midwest. Tonight, at midnight tonight, your time, it looks like this. Blustery and very cold with some lake-effect snows across the Great Lakes. Also, some scattered showers to the south. Bundle up here because that very cold weather is filtering down. And more snow tonight at midnight in this part of the country, so stay indoors. That's a look at the national weather this morning.
Good morning. I'm Terry Anzer. Here's what's making news at 8:07. Fire in a Canoga Park convalescent home early this morning causes some evacuations. Fire races through the attic at the Pine Grove Hospital in the 7,000 block of Shoup Avenue about 3 hours ago. The fire was out in about 20 minutes. Cause is still under investigation. The residents have been allowed to go back into the facility. New pictures this morning of a daring jewelry heist at upscale Saks Fifth Avenue captured on videotape. Here's what the camera saw Monday night. 3 men enter the store very quickly, making their move. One with a gun shouts demands. The others remove the jewels. The robbers leave the store with about $90,000 worth of jewelry. Detectives hope the videotape will help them catch the bandits. And a woman is dead after being hit by an Amtrak train in Tustin. Chopper 2 shot these pictures shortly after the accident at Red Hill and Edinger Avenues. Police are calling this a suicide. They say the victim deliberately laid herself on the tracks. A complete update on New Year's Eve day, traffic and weather when Action News AM continues.
This year, drive the winner of the Rose Bowl, the Oldsmobile Achieva, official car of the Tournament of Roses. And Achieva was winner over Honda Accord and Toyota Camry in 100,000-mile quality test, featuring standard equipment anti-lock brakes that you won't find on the competition. AM/FM stereo cassette, air conditioning, all for only $199 a month on a 48-month lease. See the Achieva and other official Tournament of Roses cars at your Oldsmobile dealers today.
Achieva, before you consider Accord or Camry, shouldn't you consider the car that beat them?
Hi, everybody. I'm Regis Philbin, and this is Judy and Steve Franzino, who together have lost 47 pounds at Jenny Craig. Did you have the same counselor?
She was very supportive. In fact, she was so individual
to us that she really made the program.
You need that support system, don't you? Good luck and congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And why don't you call Jenny Craig right now?
Call us right now and lose all the weight you want for just $1 a pound. Just $1 a pound to lose all you want. Pick up the phone and dial 1-800-68-JENNY.
Let's get weather and traffic now from Jim Thornton. Jim, we're getting tired of all this good news.
I know it. Good news. Yeah, but you gotta be careful and watch yourself because the CHP are out there today. I've heard about 5 or 6 cars have been pulled over on the 60 between the 57 and the San Bernardino freeway as well, between the 605 and the 57 because they're doing such top speeds this morning. Light volume everywhere. One overturned car. Watch out as this clears. Northbound 14 just after Agua Dulce. Eastbound 91, the Arlington on-ramp closed down for a hazardous material spill in Riverside County. That's eastbound 91 at Arlington. The weather, talk about your great news here. Mostly clear for today, a high around 65 as high pressure keeps the clouds away from us. Just fair skies for tomorrow morning and partly cloudy by tomorrow afternoon. Carrie?
Sounds great, Jim. It's going to be a great New Year's Day. And that's our local news for now. Our next update coming your way at 8:25. We'll see you then.
How do we do that? This year is just ending, but we all need to be on top of the newest, the latest, the hottest. Don't you feel that?
Oh, of course.
Yes. So this morning, we will peek into the future to see what's hot for 1993. Forecaster Kim Long says edible cotton will be in, so will upscale log houses, hair coloring for men.
Yeah, we know that.
And outdoor gyms on the out list. Miniature pot, you've gotten rid of your potbelly.
Oh,
thing,
yeah, I got
right?
rid of them months ago.
TV dating shows out, miniskirts out, country music out.
No,
So we said,
no,
we'll see.
no.
Speaking of hot, Long's American Forecaster Almanac for 1993 is only available, can't buy it in stores, floppy disk, and he joins us this morning. Good morning.
Happy New Year.
How you
Glad
doing?
to be here.
Can you actually buy, did I say that wrong? Can you buy it in a store?
One store only, actually, this year. It's the largest bookstore in the U.S., though, but it's part of a trend. It's the first year that there is a department in the store for electronic books. So I'm essentially creating a trend. I'm part of it.
Well, now, help us out on this.
Well, I just want to know what makes you know what's so hot about what's hot
actually,
and what's
I
not.
appointed myself. I created my own credentials, but what I do is mostly like what a journalist would do. So it's based on observation and analysis of stuff that is really there. I'm not sitting back in an armchair and sort of dreaming about what might happen.
You're not Karnak.
No, not yet anyway.
And Karnak today says, what is this?
This is a little device that's invented by a doctor. It has not been approved by the FDA yet. It's in clinical trials, and it's called an NETI. It's a little neuroelectronic device you put in your ears for people who are suffering withdrawal symptoms from trying to quit smoking. It's a lot like a transdermal patch, but what this does, instead of giving you more drugs into your system to replace the nicotine, put it in your ear, and it gives you, it's a little sub-threshold buzz that stimulates a nerve that releases endorphins in the brain.
You're kidding.
No, and they've had very positive results from it. It's considered an experimental device right now, but essentially, since it doesn't involve any invasive abuse of drugs in the body, it should be.
How much would something like that sell for eventually?
I don't know because it's not on the market.
No, but when it does,
but it will be by
hundreds of dollars, I would think.
I don't know. It will be available by prescription only, so you'd have to get it through a doctor because a lot of these things work best with therapy anyway. It's like there's no perfect way to convince the body that not doing something like smoking is okay.
I'm going to try this on for the segment.
See if you can get a buzz.
Is this a real one?
Sure, yeah, it actually works.
So what's all this stuff? We love tasting things around here.
This is a trend in the culinary arts. It is sort of the condiments of the future, I guess you could say. They're powdered vegetables. Putting them on foods.
Tomato powder. Now, what would you put tomato powder on?
Pasta, salads, soups. You could have a little shaker on your table. In fact, this does not even, they're not even containers invented for these things yet because it's so new.
What is it?
The green.
Well, wait, don't tell me.
Okay, we're testing.
I can guess what this red one is. Beet powder. That's a lovely number on your tongue, too.
The idea of having it in a powdered form is that you recognize it as a vegetable, but it sort of hits the tongue entirely different. Obviously.
So how is it?
Well, I never ate my vegetables as a child, and I'm not going to eat them this way either. No, what is it? It's something green. What is it?
There's asparagus and broccoli.
And that's what it tastes like.
No wonder you love that so
But
much.
cooked spinach, not fresh spinach. That's what it
Right,
tastes
but,
like.
but it's just, all it is just essence of vegetable. There's nothing else there. There's no
So-
additives,
So you gotta
preservatives,
love it
or whatever.
in the beginning,
The
too.
same way with the powders. This is even newer. These are powdered wines. Not a new
What?
Powdered wine. It's not a new invention. It's the first time, though, that there is an application where one would use it as a condiment. You'd sprinkle it on salads, fruit salads, for instance, or on baked goods.
To give it a wine flavor, but
Yeah.
there's no alcohol
Have you
involved,
tried
right?
it? Have you
Oh,
put it on a
yes.
salad? Does it really give it the feeling of a
Oh, absolutely. It's a very intense wine taste, but there's absolutely no alcohol in it. It's just plain wine taste. There's a
That
sauterne.
tastes like, oh, you know what? That does taste like, try this one. Try it. Tastes like wine. Sauterne wine powder.
Between the wine powder and the buzz I'm getting from this thing on my ear, I don't know
He's
if
hot.
I'm going to
He's-
make it through the segment today.
Now wait, if you think you're gonna get a buzz from that stuff, just wait for this stuff.
What is
now what
this?
is this all about? I'm gonna put it on and
It's
you tell us
actually
what
a
it is.
company here in New York with a new product. It's a scented nail polish. It's called Satin Scent. It's available in limited applications only. I think they're going to go retail next year. And what they've done is they've found a way to encapsulate popular scents, perfumes, in a clear nail polish. You put it
Right.
on, it takes about a minute or two to dry, just like a regular coating on a nail.
Right.
You know
as soon
what
as
I've
it
mixed?
dries, it starts releasing the scent gradually over a number of hours.
So what happens when you mix poison on one hand with passion on the other? That's what I've just
I
done. Will he go crazy?
Let's find out. We'll do a little bit of on-air experimentation.
I'm gonna keep on polishing away here.
Let's
'cause
see
I
what
want the
happens by
maximum
9 o'clock.
effect.
That may be the perfect combination.
I haven't done
of
this
poison and
probably in
passion.
7 months. Polish these nails. This is great.
All right. Well, we'll wait a minute and see what happens.
I'll let these
What
dry.
what are these guys? This is Paula. You should be in.
Very simple
Oh, look at my
concept.
nails.
It's,
Here, let me give you one of these.
in essence, they've taken something that hasn't changed in over 100 years, a barbell, and made it more ergometric. And this is essentially, I guess you could say, the barbell of the future.
Right.
And it's called Strong Put, and it's essentially a free weight that you stick your hand into, and essentially you can relax it. Inside, your hand curves around.
Right.
The weight holds itself onto your hand, so you
Right.
save about 30% of the muscle power in your arm that you would normally use to grip
You're
the
kidding.
barbell. Do your normal
So
exercises.
gyms all over the world are going to be filled with these things.
It's just now becoming available, not on sale yet, retail.
Your assessment, Harry? Passion or poison?
I'll tell you later. Thank you. Good to see you again. Thank you very, very much.
Glad to be
Happy
here.
New Year.
Really appreciate it.
Take care.
Yeah.
15 minutes after the hour. Mark finds out how British actress Jane Seymour can play an American frontier doctor, coming up next.
It's the savings event you've been waiting for.
May Company's 15-hour sale.
And it just got bigger.
We've expanded this spectacular sale to 2 days.
This Friday and Saturday only.
2 days of unbelievable savings of up to 50% in every May Company store.
Save up to 50% on fashions and accessories, plus terrific items for your home.
Shop Friday 8 to 9, Saturday 8 to 11.
2 days of spectacular store-wide savings you can't afford to miss.
This Friday and Saturday only.
Only at May Company.
Sport Mart's open New Year's Day.
And it's buy one, get one free.
Sport Mart's open New Year's Day. And it's buy one, get one free.
Just look for the green stripe tags on selected athletic shoes and apparel. Buy one pair of shoes, get another pair free. Buy one item of apparel, get another apparel item free.
Buy one, get one free.
It's our buy one, get one free clearance, and that's not all. Save up to half off Sport Mart's original everyday low prices on thousands of top brand clearance items.
Sport Mart's open New Year's Day.
The buy one, get one free clearance.
New Year's Day at Sport Mart.
At 10, Brian wanted to be a baseball star. At 12, he just wanted to be left alone. At 13, I knew we had a problem. That's when we called the helpline at Loma Linda University. Their free cassette explained how we might help.
To request a cassette or talk to a counselor, call 1-800-873-4646. Loma Linda, the people who will earn your trust.
Now that Brian's home, I only have one regret, that I didn't call sooner.
Searching for the right used car or truck? You could take all your time with the classifieds or just call 1-800-CAR-SEARCH and get a free custom list of everything in your area.
Late one night in Kalamazoo.
Every week, when Stephanie reads stories to preschoolers,
You see the picture?
the look on the children's faces is priceless. And that's made her life so much brighter. Even though Stephanie has never even seen their faces. To learn what you can do in your community, call the Points of Light Foundation.
Tomorrow
Tomorrow night, Jane Seymour starts the year with a brand new series right here on CBS. Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, takes us to the Old West. Jane plays a doctor from Boston trying to adjust to her newly adopted children.
Ma, can you fix it?
Fix what?
Found her in the woods like this.
Can you fix her, Ma?
I can try.
Thanks, Ma.
Get my medical bag. I'll do what I can.
Tomorrow, by the way, Jane is my co-host for the Tournament of Roses parade right here on CBS. I'm the lucky guy. And Jane joins us this morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Tell me a little bit about Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman. Tell me about the character.
Well, actually, just watching the clip, it occurred to me that people might think I'm a vet, but I think that's the only animal I ever really look after. I look after human beings. Michaela Quinn is her name, and she's the youngest of 5 daughters of a doctor in Boston, Massachusetts. And I guess Dad was hoping for a boy and ended up with 5 girls, and so he named the last girl Michael with an A, Michaela, and took her along on medical visits, and she eventually became a doctor and worked with him alongside him until he died. And then nobody wanted her as a doctor in Boston, so she applied out in Colorado Springs, where they needed a doctor, and they thought that she was a boy, a guy. So when she arrives, they're devastated because they do not want, I mean, single women were not popular anyway, it didn't happen. And certainly doctors, so they just, you know, they've got to get her out of town quickly. So eventually she makes herself indispensable, and people get to like her, and then she deals with the West, and she also learns an enormous amount. I mean, she came from book learning and from the East and from privilege, and she finds herself out there in the West dealing with the elements, having to deal with, for example, riding a horse, which she's never done before, and chopping wood and trying to cook, and then she inherits 3 kids, and this is the, you know, the original liberated woman who suddenly ends up with everything she decided she wasn't going to have in life, and then she discovers love, really, and she discovers an enormous amount of happiness in the simplicity of that life, and learns a great deal from the Native Americans, from the Cheyenne, a mountain man called Sully, who's really there and protects her, who I think she's very fond of and grows more fond of.
Little love story.
A little love story brewing.
Yeah.
And then there's some wonderful characters in the show. They're real oddballs, and so it's a very unusual piece.
Your father was a doctor.
That's right.
Did he want you to follow in his footsteps? Did you ever consider that?
No, I never considered it, but from the time I was about 3 years old or 2 years old, or in fact, as long as I can remember, every weekend we'd go to the hospital, and my father was a surgeon, an obstetrician and gynecologist, so he delivered babies all the time, and we would always have, like, rides. The equivalent of Disneyland for us was to go on the operating table and have it go up and down and sideways. It sounds very bizarre. And needless to say, I saw my share of you know, blood and guts and stuff after operation. So I never had a problem with blood. And by the time I was 10, my father took me and showed me a serious major operation. I think I saw a C-section, cesarean section, when I was 10.
Wow.
And I remember my father distinctly, you know, opening up, and all the doctors and nurses thinking this 10-year-old was going to faint. And to me, it was very normal.
Well, tomorrow, by the way, as we switch gears a little bit, you and I are going to be working together on the Tournament of Roses parade. Any tips for me?
Well, first of all, be aware that I've never done anything like this before, but I'm very excited about it. I've heard so much about it. You see, I've never been in America for New Year's.
Oh, you never have?
No, I've always celebrated New Year's in England, but they persuaded me to come back. They said this is really something that people wait on the streets for days and that it's really extraordinary, so.
Well, I'm really looking forward to it. The only tip I can give you is the fact that once the parade gets going, watch how you get caught up in the whole pageantry of everything with the bands, and they'll have people on horseback and things like that. But we'll have some fun. I'm really looking forward to it.
It's real Americana, and I'm so thrilled to be part of it. And, you know, the fact that evening I'm starring in an American Western in America as well. I think I'm just going to have to get a passport from this country, don't you?
Well, it'll be a good New Year's for you. Dr.
Thank you.
Quinn, Medicine Woman is the name of the series, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow at the parade and tomorrow night on CBS.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jane. We'll be back.
And we'll be back with the Buttafuoco's in the movie that tells their side of the Long Island Lolita story.
It's where they learn to walk and talk and explore. It's where they learn to succeed and fail and grow. Homes are an important part of everyone's life, and for more than 100 years, Home Savings has offered people not only a safe, secure way to save for their dream, but the financing they need to achieve it. Home Savings of America.
This year, drive the winner of the Rose Bowl, the Oldsmobile Achieva, official car of the Tournament of Roses. And Achieva was winner over Honda Accord and Toyota Camry in 100,000-mile quality tests, featuring standard equipment anti-lock brakes that you won't find on the competition. AM/FM stereo cassette, air conditioning, all for only $199 a month on a 48-month lease. See the Achieva and other official Tournament of Roses cars at your Oldsmobile dealers today.
Achieva, before you consider Accord or Camry, shouldn't you consider the car that beat them?
There's magic at the Broadway New Year's sale and clearance with these 3-hour specials Friday 9 to noon. Women's boots and booties 50% off. Selected quilts any size $79.99. Silk jock sets $59.99. An RCA VCR $247. Selected Missy blazers $39.99. Ron Shereskin dress shirts $12.99. And Friday and Saturday for every $100 in purchases in one day you get a $10 gift certificate. The New Year's sale at the Broadway.
Paul's year-end clearance is on now. You can save 15 to 40% on over 1,000 Mitsubishi big screen TVs, many at less than original dealer's wholesale cost. This 50-inch Mitsubishi is now only $22.98 with 1 year same as cash, 0% financing. Save from $400 to over $2,000. Other big screen TVs as low as $998. Free delivery 7 days a week, usually in 4 hours. Hurry to Paul's now, America's #1 Mitsubishi store for 8 years in a row.
I am the king.
This is the 825 Channel 2 Action News Morning Report.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Terry Anzer in Los Angeles with local news, starting out with weather and traffic with the king of weather and traffic, Jim Thornton.
I am the king. The Sepulveda Pass is looking terrific. If you want to drive anywhere, really, that's just typical of this morning. The 405 Ventura Freeway in the Valley looking terrific this morning. Orange County, no major problems. The northbound Harbor Freeway